Hello, everybody. So, thought I'd do something a bit different in a while. It's not had a bit of spare time, and I was like, you know what? Let's cover another Predator. So, this guy, Joshua Cologne, it's a cool name. That it's just a pity he ended up being one of these guys. But um, obviously, this is the Hansen versus Predator thing. I'm not sure how this video. What was the crap with all that stuff? I didn't really follow the Chris Hansen debacle. Much. I didn't. There was a lot of people getting a lot pissed off about it. I didn't know the exact ins and outs, but it didn't seem. It just there's probably more to it, but it just seemed like people were making a copyright of his content, so that got his back up, which I can understand. And then he went on the offensive and started taking people's channels down. But anyway, so we'll see what happens with this one, shall we? Just very briefly, so you get an idea of who he is. I'll show you a bit of a very small amount of the Hansen versus Predator footage, which I will show to you now.
This guy from New York City just drove a 12-year-old.
Hi, Poppy. Come on in. It's so good to see you.
Latin slang for daddy. But
So that's enough of that. It's just to get an idea of kind of who he is. So if you can see from the screen there, 7 years suspended in prison. Hang on, 7 years suspended after 3 years in prison. Ah, right, he got 3 years in prison. So it was a total of 10 years, 3 years in prison, 7 years suspended. I did read something that he was out now, because this was a while ago, wasn't it? 10 years registered sex offender. I find it odd how there's limits on the registry, whereas some people, whether there's been a change in the way that they're conducting themselves, sorry, a change in the law, but some people get like, I suppose, maybe it depends on the severity of the crime. But one would assume that they're all pretty much the same. If you tried fucking a kid, I mean, you know, I suppose there's degrees of manipulation, the age difference, things like that. How graphic the chat was, I suppose it depends on the case, the judge, blah blah blah. So what we're gonna do, I managed to, I believe, the chat logs are available for all of them. Joey sent them to me. I didn't have them. All of them, but anyway, so here, here's the chat log. It's obviously very different now, isn't it? It's all kind of in text message form, isn't it? Which is cool because it's like I did cover the John Dupee. I did about 4 or 5 videos, I think, of the chat log, but it was boring, if I'm being honest. It was just really, there was just no point in me covering it because I fucking hated it. He's like such a dull character. He was like as pathetic as Lorne, but didn't really have any of Lorne's amusing goofiness. You know that thing about Lorne that you can't really put your finger on what makes him so entertaining? Well, he didn't have any of that. It was all just very dull, monotonous, and it was like, oh, just get on with it, man. But anyway, I've got a funny feeling this particular guy's not going to be too interesting, but we'll go with it. We'll see what the crack is. I do believe that there is an interrogation video. I don't know how I would go about getting that on there. Anybody knows who's listening to this? What I can do with regard to avoiding copyrights, because I believe that this guy's interrogation got posted on the Hansen vs Predator YouTube channel. So if I rip it from there may be problems, but I'll deal with that another time. So let's crack on, shall we? Joshua Cologne. I think we're heading straight in there when it's already kind of started, really. if you can see, kind of like, I can't wait to pick you up in it. So I assume at that point he showed him he showed her some kind of picture of a vehicle, a car he's got. Is he one of them that turned up in a cool car? Never mind. Oh, right, you hang out with older guys. I mean, he's getting straight to the point, isn't he? I suppose. I talk to anyone as long as they aren't assholes. Cool. Well, I'm 32, just so you know. Right, so, he's straight away, he's setting his stall out, isn't it? There's no kind of, it's like, right, okay, do you want to hang out with older guys? I'm 32. So it's not like, for instance, I always use Lorne as a kind of comparison. But if you think about the start of Lorne's chat log, let's just use him as a, like I said, we've got to use him as the poster boy, haven't we? It was manipulation from the beginning, it wasn't it? Oh, you're a cutie, I'll talk to you. So it was like, there's no getting away from the age type thing, really, is there? Especially when it's in, when somebody's like Kaylee Princess. But the point is, at the beginning of the chat, it's all about deception, isn't it? It's all about manipulation. So he's like, you're a cutie. If, I'm being your friend. I'm not interested in any romantic connotations. It's all, I'm going to protect you, blah, blah, blah. And then within 2 minutes, he's getting her to jack off, you know what I mean? But with him, it's, I'm an older guy. I like younger girls. Do you want to get it on? So there's not that. I'm not trying to make excuses for the guys. They all, I've had detailed conversations with people about this, and there's different ways of looking at it. Some people would put them all under the same umbrella and say they're all monsters. It doesn't matter what they do. So I'm not making any judgments. You can make your own mind up. I'm just making the, I'm just bringing the point forward that there's no initial. I mean, there's the car thing, isn't there? Look at my car, look how good that is. That's a standard pulling tactic of a guy, isn't it? That happens as long as cars have been around. That's what happens. It still happens now. Guys, they entice the girls, their own age in with, oh, look at the cool car, get in the car, and girls like cars that age and all that kind of stuff. He's doing it straight away here. Look at my car. But the problem is he's talking to somebody who's ridiculously younger. So there's no overt deception straight away. So read into that what you will. It's not my place to tell you. You can make your own mind up. Right, okay, hang on. I've turned the page too early there, haven't I? That's cool. I'm 13, but turning 14 next month. Is that okay? It's okay. Age is just a number to me. Love knows no age. Well, I mean, straight away that could be certainly seen as deception, because there's going to be no love. But of course, some people of a 32-year-old of the age of 32 will be so lacking in experience and so maybe underconfident, some kind of severe issues as they're growing up, that they actually genuinely believe that they could fall in love with, get it on romantically with somebody of that age. It's rare, but it does happen. But there's some kind of trauma involved there. And then some people just do it because they want to get it on with a kid, I agree. I hate people judging me because of my age. I'm more mature than half the adults. Yeah, I know young girls who are much more mature than women my age. I connect more with young girls. I like goofing off a lot. I know young girls who are much more mature than women my age. As long as you are fun and not a jerk, I'm happy. I'm not a jerk, just a nice guy who often finishes last. What the fuck are you on about, man? I'm not a jerk, just a nice guy who often finishes last. Right, okay. Well, it doesn't matter what age you're talking to somebody. You wouldn't... Hi, by the way, there's my nice car. I'm a nice guy, but I'm a loser. Okay, that's a bit strange. I gotta change classes. Can we talk soon? Oh, so she's actually, so this is so it says at the top of the screen there, 11:21 a.m. So he's talking to her when he believes she's in school. Can we talk soon? I like nice guys. Yeah, we can talk later. On the phone. I'm Joshua. I'm Bailey. Well, nice to meet you, Bailey. You too. I'll kick you in a little while. Cool. Well, maybe have fun in school. Oh, well, cool. Well, have fun in school. So, hang on a minute. How school? See, we look at the time there. It says 11:21 a.m. And then here it says 90. House school at 10:02 a.m. I'm a bit confused, but I suppose there's no point dwelling on that. It doesn't really matter. But suffice to say, he's messaging her back at a later time and asking her how school is. Right, I don't understand why it's jumped to that. Got a minute. I'm not quite sure why it jumps. I don't think we've got all of the text messages, but here we've got, I think it's like a different, I think they've switched from the dating app to the, to just chat by numbers. I assume that's his number there, which is, obviously won't be his number anymore. And then there's the pictures of her, which obviously have been blanked out, which is cool because I don't have to fuck around. And then here we go. We get straight into the nitty gritty here. How old were you when you first did it? Have you ever gave your boyfriend a blowjob sucking his dick? I was 19. No, nothing like that. Have you ever do it with someone who hasn't done it? Yet. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, one time. I just took it super slow on her. She was 15 and super tight like I'm sure you were. Almost immediately she got used to it and begged me to screw her harder. All this talk of sex is getting disgusting fucker. You see, this is when, the thoughts at the beginning, when I was mentioning that, some people, through whatever reason or another, genuinely have this kind of, they're so immature because of something that's happened that they believe they can get it on when, they can have a romantic relationship with someone of that age. It's like there's a degree of Lorne that's like that. At the time he was doing the chat, it was all about him getting laid, but he would find it easier to connect with someone so younger because he's so childlike. So there is an element of him like that. But when you see the sex talk here about, getting tight and, beg to screw, it's just not, she's still a kid. It's just, it's something you can't grasp it, can you? You can't quite understand, but I suppose it's for our benefit that we can't really. It's these people that have these compulsions. So we use that word that Chris likes to use. It's these people that have these compulsions, that are born, some of them born with this condition. It's like that documentary that you see on, that I posted on my channel ages ago about these people that grow up having these attractions to children and they don't want to act upon them. It's like, can you imagine how terrible? I really felt for that guy. Just check it out, guys. It's the documentary is called, if you've not seen it, it's called, oh, fucking hell. What's it fucking called? Oh, it's called The Paedophile Next Door. And it's not, some of it is about this guy who says, I have these attractions to very young children. I'm a paedophile, but I hope someone doesn't edit what I'm saying here. It would sound funny. He says, I've got these attractions to children. It turns me on, but I do not want to harm a child. And you could tell there was a struggle with him. And what that does is it makes these kind of people appear even worse because you know that they've got a choice. Well, I'll bet you're at work. I know, but I'm driving with my dick hard. Thanks, Jenna. You got me super hard. I thought she was called Bailey. Right, maybe that's something I can figure out later. Or maybe it's like she uses 2 different names or something. I'm a bit confused now. It's the same guy. You see, this is kind of like, I'm not just anybody that doesn't know, because it sounds like amateurish, this, which I suppose it is, because, this is just a hobby thing. I don't sit down and read these chats. It's kind of it's more interesting to me, I think, if we kind of go through it together, and I've not seen it before, so there's going to be things I'm not quite sure about. Wish you were sucking it right now. Send me a video. Stupid phone won't record vid. Haha, good getting out of that, because obviously the decoy's not going to be able to send random videos, because they may not have videos of the decoys that they're using. Stupid phone won't record video anymore, but I got one saved of me singing, but it sucks. I don't want to send it. Send it. I'm sure you are good. Just want to see. Surely it's bad. I don't know why I even kept it. Come on, I'm sure you look adorable singing. I don't think so. Okay, I promise. It's too big to send. My AC broke down yesterday on my way home to do blah, 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 blah. I do. What's yours? And I'll send it. I'm sorry, you'll have to suspend money. And then he provides his email. So she sent a video. That's quite interesting. So it's one thing that I noticed from the Tetrad Core. They seem to be a lot more sophisticated than a lot more organic. They seem. I'm not saying this to have a go at perverted justice, but they seem more professional. But maybe that's just a sign of the times with regard to having. You've got, if you're going to do a sophisticated sting operation involving the police, you're going to have your shit together, aren't you? You're going to have loads of images. You're going to have to potentially have videos, because if you're on the ball, you're going to know these people are going to ask for them, aren't they? It's just the way people operate, isn't it? We send videos of each other when you start messaging someone now. You're sending videos, not necessarily sexual straight away, but you are sending, little videos of yourself, like, when I, every now and again, when I get chatting to someone, I send like little guitar videos and things like that. Then I go full on to sending a full video of me cock. That's what I do. No, I'm joking, of course. So yeah, good morning, princess. Thought he was going to say precious then. I miss you, baby. Good morning. Have a good day at work. In other words, fuck off. You too, baby. Send me a picture every day. Keeps me going. I want some pics of you too, though. Yes, of course. You're the boss. What are you working on today? Sprinkler inspections. I drive from job to job signing a book. That's it. So it's all right to me. I want to see a full body picture. So sexy. You see, I want to know what she looks like, to see how childlike she is, because it adds, it adds a different context to the content of the videos, doesn't it? It's like if what I'm doing here, getting an idea of what his proclivities are like. I like that word. I'm coming up with quite new words over the last few days because I've been reading a lot. The good thing about having a Kindle, because I've only really started like reading heavy in the last few years, really. Before that, I wasn't intellectual, not that I am now, but I didn't really spend a lot of time reading. But the good thing about Kindle, when you come across a word and you're not sure what it is, all you got to do is hold your finger on it. It comes up with like what do they call it? The thesaurus, I think we call them over here, where it's like an explanation of the words, and it's really cool. A dictionary, in other words, whatever. You're sweet to say that. Just being honest with you. Where have we heard that before, guys? I'm just being honest. Couldn't help it. I've still got the Dusty McFetridge chat log to finish. I was going to do a video with someone soon. Heisenberg, you remember him, used to do a couple of videos, but I'll be doing that soon. Next pic you send, will you take your glasses off so I can see your eyes? Pretty please. Blah, 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 blah. Come on, let's get to the interesting stuff. Your mum never lets you go out, right? So how will I get to meet you. I don't know. She just got a boyfriend, so I'm hoping they'll go out and leave me at home. Your mum never lets you. Oh, right, okay. I can drive up to you one day and we'll drive round, make out. I can't go to your house. Why not? If your mum comes back and I'm there, I could get in serious trouble and go to jail. I don't want that. You see, it's interesting, isn't it? Because at no point have we seen any evidence that he's suspicious. Like, even Lorne was... I don't think he believed that there was a sting operation, but there was moments when he was like... you know, because of the differences in the pictures and the misunderstanding over the house, there were times when he knew something was off, but he didn't have the intelligence and the knowledge to come to a conclusion of what this potentially could be. But you got to remember, what's strange about this is that this was only a few years ago, you know, proper, fully fledged into the digital age, when we're going to be, you know, he's going to be aware that there's all kinds of sting operations going on. But yet, he doesn't really seem suspicious of it. I think it's because if you're convincing enough and you know what to say and how to say it, I believe you could convince most people. Just because it's like you text someone and you send pictures. It's a very personal thing, like on your smartphone. It's like a psychological kind of intimacy that you don't get from sitting in front of a computer, because your phone is like part of you, isn't it? It's an extension of you. You know, whether you want to admit it or not. If you don't have your smartphone for a few minutes, you feel like your legs have been cut off. It's fucking bad, and it's something we all need to try and manage, you know, as best we can, because it's not healthy. But if you have someone on that and they're sending you pictures and they're chatting, they're quite clever the way they chat, as these people are. This is what I mean about Tetra Core being more professional. There's no incidents with like pictures with one girl that doesn't look like another, and you know, it's all very well planned. So do you know what I mean? It's all very well done. There's no from what I've seen, there's no issues at all. He doesn't even suspect that there's a problem. But with the phone, especially if you're on, you know, you're on these dating apps, and then someone sends you pictures and then a video, and every time you're asking for all these different photos, they're able to send them. You're not going to suspect, are you? Which clearly it doesn't. It's really interesting. It's very clever what they've done, but I suppose because of how this, you know, the digital age, the smartphone thing has changed it all. They've got to be more and more sophisticated. They've got to have the shit together, otherwise it's just not going to work, is it? That's why I pick you up. We drive somewhere private where we could make out and have sex if you want it. Okay, you're the boss. Well, okay then. We will have to, since I'm the boss, lol. You are going to ride my dick and love it. But you're going to go slow, right? So it doesn't hurt. Yeah, I'll go slow, and yes, it will hurt. Will anything make it not hurt? My tummy's all nervous thinking about it. I'm scared of shots. I don't like pain. Since you are a virgin, try masturbating, sticking your finger. So we've had glimpses of Lorne and Dustin, and now we're getting the Lorne shit. So there's just no, you know, it's funny, isn't it? It's like I said, I was straight away we're getting to the nitty gritty, and there's no hint of compassion, as obviously there wouldn't be, but you know, straight into it. She's saying, oh, it hurts, I don't want to do it. It's like, right, okay, well, fucking stick your finger in there and get it ready. It's all he's bothered about, isn't it? There's just no interest in this, you know, the fact that she's a child. It's like this. I just don't understand these people. It's like, let's just say you meet somebody who's of age, right? And they say this to you. Let's just say that, let's use a comparison. And let's just say I meet someone in the 30s and they say, oh, I've not had sex in ages. Or even I'm a virgin, it happens, You wouldn't just go, well, fuck that, stick your fist in there now and get ready for me. You just wouldn't do that, would you? And the fact that they're a child and they still do that, it is literally why these people are at the bottom of the barrel, which is what Tiffany said in one of the calls to Lorne. And it's true. That's why these people get so much hate, because of what they do. It really does mystify you, doesn't it? It really does. It's something that you can't quite grasp. And I think that's why we find it so interesting, because we all like, and me especially, well, not me especially, I'm not saying that, the interest that I have is deep or greater than anybody else's, but I have a fascination with the dark side of humanity as much as the light. It's like, I have a thing, I'm building tattoos up, and on my left arm, I have all light tattoos and spirit, a couple of spirituals kind of passages and things like that. And on the right side, I have dark things, and then me in the middle, which is like a contrast between the dark and the light, because it's all about the balance. It's pretty cool, isn't it? So I'm equally fascinated with. It's like I used to have like a spiritual channel, which wasn't. It was fucking hard work, but it kind of in order to make something like that on YouTube successful, you've got to put a lot of time and effort into it. I just couldn't be fucking arsed, because it's not something at this minute that I want to make a career out of. So I had like on one side doing the spiritual thing, and then another side doing all this stuff. So you've got the dark, fascinated. I'm equally fascinated by the dark side of life that I am the light side of it. Hence why I like Star Wars so much. And there we go, 20 odd minutes in and I mentioned Star Wars, but there you go. So yeah, it's like, no, since you're, try doing that, okay. I have a dumb question. How do you not get pregnant? You have to make sure the guy wears a condom, and before the guy You see, she's asking these questions, so the character that she's playing, it's like the decoy's giving him an opportunity to kind of like go, oh, fucking hell, this kid is really a kid. Because I'd give people, if people like got carried away with themselves and then they got to a point where they were like, oh my God, and they had a realization. And they thought, what am I doing? Right, this is wrong. I can't do this. You wouldn't want to have that. Probably wouldn't want to have that guy around for dinner. But you'd give him a break, wouldn't you? You'd be like, you know what? This guy's got issues, but at least he's come to a realization that what he was doing was wrong. But you don't detect that, do you? It's like, how do I not get pregnant? And straight away, you have to make sure the guy wears a condom before the guy, and then he has to pull out. And it's like proper graphic details that this girl doesn't need to hear from this guy, but there's just no hint of that. It's really it's difficult to get your head around, really. I'm not buying those. Oh my God, I would die of embarrassment. And no money. I have condoms. Okay, good. Gotta go. Gotta great stuff for school tomorrow. Alright, more. Yes, of course, princess. Smart 100 times. Too lazy to even write it out. I'm going to miss you, baby, but soon. Okay, hon. Have you noticed how I feel a bit sick, actually? I don't kind of enjoy reading this stuff. Even though I say it, I enjoy, exploring the darker aspects of humanity, which I do. I watch videos that I probably shouldn't watch sometimes. It's not because I'm sick. It's because I like to expose myself to as much as what I can. I think it's sometimes important It's part of living. It's part of the world that we live in. Is these things happen. So I don't believe in sheltering yourself too much, but there's also that thing if you don't necessarily have to expose yourself to horrors all the time. It's a weird one, really. Right, actually, I'm gonna quit there actually because it's getting. I think we're at the about 30-minute mark. So that's usually what we do with these videos. So let's just. Yeah, so guys, could you let me know if you've enjoyed this video and whether you think it's worthwhile in carry on? I think it's been pretty interesting, actually. I do quite enjoy these. Obviously, I don't have the time to do the videos that I used to, but I do quite enjoy going through the chat logs in the digital sense with regard to rather than the old kind of the online ones where it was just the chat log in sort of Word format. Going through it in a digital sense on a smartphone, it just adds another element to it because you got the pictures. People speak differently. It's just it's just to kind of see how these people kind of go about the business, really, isn't it? But anyway, I'm gonna leave it there, guys. So if you've, like I said, if you've enjoyed it, please let me know. Stick a like on there as well. I don't think I've ever asked for a like on videos in the whole time I've been doing them because it's not really. But I think that I think it does help videos in with regard to flashing up in people's. And it's always nice to get subscribers and likes and shit. There's always the usual 7 or 8 that put the thumbs down on the videos, which is cool. They don't really. That doesn't really matter to me, and until someone has the balls to tell me what the problem is, then it's totally irrelevant, really. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will speak to you soon. I know I keep saying this, but there will be a stream coming up soon. With Shin and Tiffany, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really cool. But in the meantime, please look after yourselves, and I'll speak to you soon.